how to get into the tech industry. I remember I posted something on my WhatsApp status, I think some weeks back, and one of my friends picked that, came into my DM and said, "What exactly do you mean? Can you elaborate about the fact that you need to be deliberate and intentional about your life? Like, everything you do should add to your progress. From the kind of movies you stream, to the kind of books you read, to the kind of network you build of friends, all these things should contribute to the progress, your developmental journey." So, coming back to the question, how do you get into tech? I've been a remote worker in the tech space for 8 years now. I'm a growth marketer. I major in the B2B tech sector. And what I've found out is that having the skills is not just enough. You need to have the strategy that backs your skills. How do I mean? Let me explain. I didn't start off as a B2B marketer. And in fact, I didn't even start with, being the head of marketing of any of these, Fortune 500 companies in the tech space. No. I mean, I started and I grew along the way. I was tired at where I was at some point, and I needed to upgrade. With AI tools, different courses out there, it makes it even more easier if you know what you're doing. And I'll explain. Upgraded my CV when I needed, a leap in my career. But I knew that if I am going to apply for these roles, the big roles that I'm, targeting, I need to have the skills and the strategy. Now, these roles were not, I have not served in the roles. Let me explain what I mean by that. Like, if I say I want to be, let's say, a product marketing manager, have I served exactly in the product marketing manager role previously? Maybe not, right? So what did I do? I went ahead to, I'm a voracious reader. I read a lot. And coming back to the kind of movies I stream on, streaming platforms like Netflix, I like epic movies, but at the same time, I also like movies that challenges my intellect, right? I watch movies, about Wall Street. I watch movies, I think, which the Suits drama, Breaking Bad. Anything at all that, challenges my wit. I like to, stream it. And then when I stream these movies, what do? I go ahead and apply a few of these things, right? Somebody can say, it's just movies. Don't, just enjoy the movie. Do not, stress it. Well, I'm telling you what works for me, and the person listening, anyone listening, take a thing or two from this, imbibe it, and it also works for them. So what did I do? AI is there now, right? And it helps you to prepare well. Let me tell you how I use AI sometimes, right? Role playing. Tell it. Imagine you are the manager of a Fortune 500 company and you want to employ me as an analyst. Let's say JP Morgan Chase, right? An analyst does almost everything. And what I did was that I made it my mentor. I made AI my mentor. I asked it to give me, specific case study assessment, and then I'll take it, I work on it, and then I feed it back to the AI to assess it. And in the prompting, I ensured that I told it to be brutal, right? Make it brutal, because it doesn't matter how well or how do I put it? It doesn't matter how terrible I am thinking my solutions were to the assessment. I'll go out there and face the real thing, right? Like even tougher space, right? And it worked. AI drilled me as my mentor. It gave me assessment. I worked on it. I fed it back. It scored me, showed me where my loopholes were, and then gave me recommendations on how to fix it, and then asked me to go and fix it. I went back, I fixed it, and I fed it back into AI. It checked it, and the results were amazing. So much so that when I started, getting interviews to the job roles, it was like I was prepared. I can remember one of the interviews I did. It was a 5-stage interview. And at one of the stages, I was drilled for almost 2 hours by a cross-functional panel. And They were, hitting me questions on every side. And to me, it was like a deja vu, because I have seen this before, because I had AI as my mentor, right? And it was giving me questions, tough questions, so much so that when I started facing the questions from the cross-functional panel, it was like some of the toughest questions you can ever imagine was what I asked my AI mentor to give to me and then prepare me ahead. You're going to have to understand that you need a strategy to back your skills. And this was just one of my strategies. And remember, you have to polish your CV, and then you have to learn the terms, right? I remember, I had to repackage my life. In my CV, the projects where I mentioned that I led the job, or the crisis I managed, those were like my stories. I had to rebuild my resume. I use the premium service, by the way, right? If you really want something, you should be ready to give it your all. Consult professionals. You might just not, you might have a blind spot on what some of these things, the recruiters look out for. And that's why sometimes you might need a professional resume builder for you to be able to fix your resume and package it well. The last thing was that in that resume I was building, my old resume, things like I managed a team, right? I had to switch it to I scaled cross-functional workflows, right? From using the language like I handled budgets, I turned it to optimized ROI with predictive modeling. You have to speak the language. You have to learn the language, because if you're doing interviews, what could even submitting your application? So just one thing could just knock you out. So you have to dot your I's and cross your T's. Lastly, you have to have passion, right? And find a way to choose a lock-in effect. What do I mean by lock-in effect? I'll give you an instance. I had a friend that studied pharmacology and has a master's in public health and wants to get into tech. You do understand that professional copywriters in specific field, technical copywriters, are very rare, right? Like, you can have a technical copywriter in the health tech sector. This is not the regular copywriter, right? You need to have domain knowledge to be able to serve in that role. And these skills don't come cheap, because you have to have gone through the four walls of a high institution, do your master's to be able to understand things about pharmacology, public health, and all this. And then you see where I'm going to. You can become a technical copywriter in the health tech sector, and you're earning even more than a business developer in the tech sector. Why? Because of your domain knowledge. So you see, sometimes it's not about the title, but about the skill and the locking effect. I gave that example so that you can understand. So, and you just find out that a professional or a technical copywriter in the health tech sector will really be enjoying what he or she is doing and be paid humongously well. So you see, you need to have a strategy, you need to have the passion, and you need to have resilience to be able to persevere until you get what you want. That's just my 2 cents on how you can transition, into the tech sector. Till I come your way again next time. Remember, I'm Victor, and I'm your B2B marketing guy. Thank you.